Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is the audio going with my Saturn in Aries post. Saturn is entering Aries on May 24th of 2025 and will be there well into 2.5 years. It's going to dip back into Pisces a little bit, but this is its entree, and this is our introduction between now and September. Let's say May to September. It's going to be in Aries, then it's going to go back to Pisces in September until February 2026, and then that's it, 30 years. So let's dive in. I'm calling it rooting the flame, reclaiming your fire, and activating new form. As Saturn, the great teacher and keeper of time, crosses the threshold into Aries, the sign of pure essence and primal beginnings, we stand at the edge of a new cycle of selfhood, freedom, and independence. If we can be fully responsible for our choices and present in our exchanges with others. Saturn now arrives in Aries for the first time since 1996 to 99 in order to refine that self, not to diminish it, but to sculpt it into something authentic, resilient, and rooted in spiritual maturity gained from navigating the last 2 to 3 years in Pisces. Saturn in Aries says, do the inner work, own and contain your fire, define your own reality. This is the soul's invitation to start again, stronger, not from innocence or naivete, but from your own earned wisdom. This is your collective experience and actual reality that you walked through over the last 7, 14, 21, 28 years. Saturn in Aries is not about doing what's been done before, because this world point activates all new territory. It is about stepping forward with courage, integrity, and a willingness to build something entirely new, starting with your own identity and purpose. Aries sparks revolutions. It starts fires. But Saturn tempers that fire, giving it direction and sustainability. This is the initiation of a new cycle of reality, where the foundation of life undergoes a profound rebirth and restructuring. It is not the time to cling to what was, but to face what is. Saturn's presence is not here to indulge our fantasies or illusions, gently and firmly into alignment with truth, the truth of who you are, of how you live, and of what you are committed to becoming. This is a reality check and a time to stabilize a new foundation and ground a new reality, individually, socially, and collectively. Deep breath. This is a time when leadership structures are redefined, moving from hierarchical to sovereign. Young and new emerging voices take the lead in movements that matter, and cultural conditioning gets exposed and undone, especially around identity and personal agency. You are now called to integrate the lessons of the last 2 to 30 years, the experiences that shaped you, the patterns you have repeated, the wisdom you have earned. All of it is coming up for review, and if you have not fully embodied those lessons to Saturn's satisfaction, know that you will be lovingly and perhaps uncomfortably tested again. Not as punishment, but to accelerate your evolution. Saturn doesn't just measure time, it measures our actual literal progress. It is not interested in appearance, but in the full embodiment. Now you must clear the emotional debris of your past, inhale back your own inner authority and personal power so that you can begin to structure your life around the authentic self that is ready to rise and be born anew. Ashe. This is not a call for egoism. This is a call for sacred individualism, the kind that understands that when one person lives their truth, it uplifts the whole. Aries is the warrior, but Saturn demands the warrior be one of integrity. Not the reactive rebel, but the responsive, responsible soul who fights for a new world by becoming a living example of it. This is your invitation to step away from the job that only pays the bills and move toward a life infused with purpose. Saturn in Aries makes it impossible to tolerate the unbearable weight of meaninglessness. We gotta have meaning behind what we're doing. It is no longer enough to simply survive. Something inside is stirring, an urge to build, to create, to stand for something. And if you don't shift willingly, Saturn will show you where you have given away your power and inner authority, where you may blame others for the choices you've made or continue to make. You will see perhaps for the first time that the power to change your life was always yours. And in that moment of awakening, Saturn becomes not a burden, but a blessing. This is especially crucial now as collective systems begin to destabilize. Governments, economies, healthcare, education, many of these were built without the individual's soul in mind. Saturn in Aries will show us where the system fails the self and invite us to build something more humane. This new cycle insists that you create your own structure or remain imprisoned by someone else's. There is no middle ground. If you don't know what you want, refuse to take responsibility for discovering it, or continue to avoid the difficult questions about how you live, you will be left navigating a reality not of your own making. Saturn is here to remind you, only children live within structures provided by others. You are no longer that child. This is your life, and it's time to truly own it. And if you need to, consciously grow into it and make it yours. Deep breath. This is what happens when it hits Aries. You got to build it. When Saturn moves through Aries, the demand is personal. This isn't about what your family told you was right, what society labels as good, or what your past has defined as safe. This is about choosing what works for you in this moment, in this reality. This is about excavating the self from beneath years of programming, cultural conditioning, and inherited expectations. If you are living the life someone else dreamt for you, Saturn will bring the discontent to the surface where it can no longer be ignored. It will force your hand not to destroy, but to liberate. As the last visible planet, Saturn sits on the edge of the known and the unknown. It is the threshold guardian, asking each of us to master our individual selves before we can begin to serve the collective with any integrity. Saturn teaches that the work of the world begins at home, within your own body, mind, and spirit. Each year, winter solstice reminds us of this, as Saturn presides over the ending of one cycle and the preparation for the next. This is the holy work of becoming. Time is sacred during this shift as we initiate a new era. Use it wisely. Protect your schedule like you protect your altar. Ask before every commitment, does this move me closer to my purpose or further from it? The desire to fit in, to succeed, to be approved of by others. These are the traps that pull us away from our truth. This is often where we most willingly hand over our power. But Saturn in Aries asks us to define success on our own terms. What are you willing to work for? What are you willing to sacrifice? And most importantly, is it worth the price? Deep breath. Saturn doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you earn. But it also gives you the tools to earn it, and the rewards, when they come, are lasting. If you are facing obstacle after obstacle, it may be time to examine your choices more deeply. Saturn doesn't block the path, it reveals where the path is not in alignment. You must take full responsibility now for all of you. The beautiful, the broken, the brave, the betrayed. Every choice you have made along the way has shaped your reality. Every thought, every action, every surrender, and every stand has brought you to this point. After the age of 18, your life becomes your own, and you cannot change what you refuse to own. But once you own it, then you can change it consciously. Ashe. That's an old Kellyism. If you can see it, you can own it. And if you can own it, you can change it. But if you can't see it, you can't own it. And if you can't own it, you can't change it. So it's all connected. There is no greater act of liberation than reclaiming your power to choose and define your own reality. And Saturn in Aries makes one thing crystal clear. If you don't choose for yourself, the world, community, or culture will choose for you. Beware of the labels. You are not only one thing. You are a multidimensional being. And Saturn will show you where those labels have confined your potential and limited possibilities for you. When Saturn energy is misdirected, it can push us into all or nothing tendencies. It can trap us in black or white beliefs. But when harnessed with awareness, Saturn becomes the architect of possibility. It helps you map the steps. It helps you make it real and manifest the reality you've been dreaming about, most recently in Pisces. Deep breath. Living through others, through their needs, their expectations, their journeys, keeps you from your own purpose and fulfillment of your own destiny. There is a difference between supporting others and hiding behind their purpose so you don't have to claim your own. Saturn will call you out of hiding now. You are not here to be invisible. You are not here to play small. You are here to contribute something that only you can bring. And if you don't know what that is, begin by shifting your language. Begin by claiming your evolution. Say, I used to do blah, 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 but now I do this, Correct people as they come at you because you're evolving and people don't know that unless you tell them. The reason to focus on language is because the words you speak are spells and Saturn listens. Let your language reflect your becoming. Let it be a declaration of where you are headed, not where you've been. This new cycle demands that you grow up, get real, face your fears, and acknowledge your denials. Avoidance is no longer an option. Delay only increases the discomfort, but when you turn to face whatever has been haunting you, the fear loses its grip. With every courageous step you take, you retrieve more and more of your own power. With every decision you make with integrity, you step more fully into your own unique truth and purpose. You will be exhilarated, not just when the challenges are behind you, but when you realize that you navigated them. You made the tough calls. You reclaimed your time. You honored your energy. That moment of alignment is worth everything, I say. This is when you anchor your inner authority. It's so big. It's only once in 30 years it hits Aries and gets to be all about you. Remember this, Saturn helps you determine what is real. Real is what you decide. Real is what resonates in your bones, not what's been handed down from systems built on fear. The mind is powerful, yes, but the soul is sovereign. You get to choose what you believe is possible, and once you do, Saturn will help you make it manifest. This is your invitation not to avoid the work, but to embrace it, not to suppress the fear, but to understand it. And not to live for others, but to live from your soul. You are the fire. You are the form. You are the future. And now is your time. Deep breath. So I put some dates to remember. The last time Saturn moved through Aries was 1996 to 99. Before that was 67 to 69. Before that was 37 to 40. Before that was 1908 to 1911. And before that was 1878 to 1881. And I went back that far because of all this. Neptune in Pisces Aries goes back to those 1870s. So we experienced this explosion of new birth and new energy and new directions and new beginnings at that time. I'm not saying they were healthy or good, but let's do it a different way this go round. Also, just for your own edification, this year, Saturn's going to retrograde at 1 Aries on July 12th, re-enter Pisces September 1st, go direct at 25 Pisces, and this is the final, November 27th of 25, and it will re-enter Aries once and for all, February 13th of 2026. And in 2026, it'll retrograde at 14 and go direct at 7, all in Aries. From July to December, like its normal retrograde annually, Saturn goes backwards and gives us a chance to check in with our own reality. And so it's really important to do this through the lens of your identity and purpose, your desire nature, your sacred masculine, the part of you that negotiates on your own behalf, gets your ideas in the world, and holds good boundaries, is all part of that. I would love to add here that in my shamanic astrology training, I learned that Saturn and Capricorn have been hijacked by the patriarchy as masculine when they're really feminine. Saturn representing that healthy elder wisdom that understands everyone's needs and the whole. So I like this combination of stability from Saturn and that action-oriented, decisive, know from the inside out what you want kind of energy of Aries. So an even better definition of healthy masculine, which is what we're trying to anchor in real time here, comes from the Mythic Tarot by Juliet Sharman Burke and Liz Green, and I love this definition. It is the masculine which embodies our spiritual ideals and ethical codes, the self-sufficiency with which we survive in the world, the authority and ambition which drive us to achieve, and the discipline and foresight necessary to accomplish our goals. It fosters self-respect because it is this part of us which can take a standpoint from which to meet life's challenges. Saturn represents the challenges, right? Aries means hit it head on. It means to possess a sense of one's own potency, one's capacity to initiate ideas and concretize them in the world. That's the other thing. This whole new beginning that we're birthing needs a foundation and a structure in order to expand or put down deeper roots. So be mindful that this is just the beginning. When Saturn hits Taurus in 2028, then we will start really fleshing it out. But this is the initiation. These are the first steps. These are the internal adjustments you need to make for yourself so that your reality and purpose can go right moving forward. But we are so supported to redefine how we make choices in the world, what we desire and care about, and the values have shifted, the thinking has shifted, your nature has shifted, the world has shifted. So we might as well choose a new way and practice this year, because 2026 is officially new territory for many. Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto's made it into Aquarius finally, but it just got there it's got a 20-year stay. So lots of new dynamics. Those big boys are going to interact. Neptune moving from Pisces into Aries is going to mix it up with Uranus moving from Taurus into Gemini. And that's going to be fire and air with the change agent Uranus and our spiritual beliefs and things, all of our connection to our spirit team and the dreams and visions that we have the imagination to conjure, right, is mixing it up on a social level, but in an opportunity way. This is an opportunity to change because your consciousness has shifted. You have outgrown your past. You've outgrown your container, and it's time to build a new one. So all the social collective planets are going to be mixing it up in new ways and hopefully some positive ways in 2026. But 25 is still closure and practice. It's getting organized. It's tying up loose ends. It's getting yourself prepared for this new vibration coming in. And the little dip that Saturn does right now from, what do we say, May to September while it's in Aries, this is your heads up, right? A lot of times this first little entree reveals things and you don't even realize it till it goes back to Pisces and finally back to Aries in the new year. And then you're going to look back at this time and go, oh my God, that's what Spirit was talking about. That's what they meant. I didn't even know that. And you're going to start piecing things together that support your new beginning and new foundation. And of course, you can reach out directly for your astro cycles reading and know where you're at with your Jupiter, Saturn, and North Node, which is your truth and story, reality and purpose, and life path and direction. So respectively, those three give us your timeline and let us know where you're at. And we can do that. Or right now, the Venus cycle's kicking off, and that reading is pretty potent too to get you back on track for your own values and priorities and navigating your relationships and resources in a more conscious way. So those are my two signature readings that are really up right now that would support this ingress. And I know many of you that were born in that 67 to 69 range have Saturn in Aries and you're headed towards your Saturn return. Or that 96 to 99, now I got babies in here that are hitting their Saturn return too right now. And so reach out directly if you feel called. Join us for the Saturn call being held May 8th. I guess I should have said that at the top. But that's when we'll go into the details of Saturn riding this cusp and the last few things it's going to hit in Pisces and the first few things it's going to hit in Aries to help us navigate this cusp year. And so hopefully you can join us for the Power Circle community event then, or as you are able. Thank you for being part of my community. Thanks for listening. This is Kelly of Karmic Tools signing off.